everyone, and welcome back to another episode of E-commerce Clearly. Today, we're talking about something you've definitely experienced. Maybe while booking a flight, maybe while ordering groceries, or maybe while buying skincare, or even maybe while you're shopping at Amazon at 1 a.m. You add something to your cart, the price looks great. You move towards checkout, and suddenly there's a handling fee, a convenience fee, a platform fee, a delivery fee, maybe even a subscription you never asked for. And somehow your rupees 200 order becomes a rupees 280 order. So now, here's the interesting question: was that intentional, or was it just part of the shopping experience? Because according to a recent industry report, around 85% of consumers say they have been misled at some point while shopping online. What's even more surprising is that 81% can actually even identify these tactics when shown examples. And that's exactly what we are talking about today. This episode is inspired by a recent report from Data Intelligence called Dark Patterns in India's Online Marketplaces, how 12 platforms shape 304 million consumers' choice and what it costs. This report takes a deep dive into how some of India's biggest e commerce, quick commerce, and online travel platforms influence consumer behavior through what regulators call dark patterns. Now, this isn't going to be a report walkthrough. Instead, I want to use some of these findings from the report as a starting point for a bigger conversation. What exactly are dark patterns? Why do consumers continue using platforms they don't fully trust? Where is the line between conversion optimization and manipulation? And perhaps most importantly, if a tactic helps a business grow today but damages consumer trust tomorrow, is that really growth? Let's start with the basics. Dark patterns are design choices that influence users into taking actions they didn't originally intend to take. And before we go any further, I want to make one thing clear: not every nudge is a dark pattern. If Amazon recommends products based on your browsing history, that's personalization. If a platform bundles products together at discount, that's merchandising. If a website reminds you that an offer expires tonight and that information is genuine, that's marketing. The issue begins when platforms cross the line from helping users make decisions to manipulating users into making decisions. The report identifies 13 categories of dark patterns currently recognized under India's regulatory framework. Things like false urgency, subscription traps, basket sneaking, drip pricing, confirm shaming, interface interference, and disguised advertising. The names may sound technical, but the experiences are incredibly familiar. Only two left. 30 people are viewing this right now. No thanks. I don't like saving money. Start your free trial. And then canceling feels harder than signing up. The reason these tactics work is because they exploit behavioral psychology. They create urgency, they create fear of missing out, FOMO. They reduce friction where platforms want action and increase friction where they don't. And that brings us to the real question: why do these tactics continue working even when consumers know they're happening? So that's something you should also think about. One of the interesting findings in the report wasn't actually about dark patterns, it was about us consumers. Because despite growing awareness, people continue using these platforms more than ever. Think about your own behavior. How many times have you complained about platform fees on a quick commerce app and then ordered again the next day? How many times have you seen convenience fees while booking flights and still book through the same platform? The reality is that convenience is one of the most powerful products ever created. The report estimates India's digital commerce ecosystem could grow up to $266 billion by 2030, and despite declining trust, usage continues to rise. I and you both wonder why. Because these platforms solve real problems. Quick commerce saves time, marketplaces offer endless choice, travel aggregators simplify planning. Consumers may not love every aspect of their experience, but they love the convenience. And I think that's where businesses often make a mistake. They confuse usage with trust. Just because consumers keep coming back doesn't mean they're happy. Sometimes you're simply the most convenient option available, and that's a dangerous assumption for any business to make. So, now let's switch perspectives because it's very easy to criticize platforms. But let's think like a growth manager for a moment. Your job is to create revenue, increase conversion, increase retention, increase average order value, increase membership. Every quarter, you're expected to deliver growth. So naturally, you experiment. You test checkout flows, you test urgency messaging, you test upsells, you test subscriptions, you test bundles. And honestly, that's exactly what you should be doing. The problem starts when optimization targets becomes more important than the customer, because most businesses measure what happens immediately. Did conversion go up? Did revenue increase? Did more users subscribe? What they don't measure is what happens 6 months later. Did trust decrease? Did loyalty weaken? Did customers become more skeptical? Did advocacy fall? Those metrics are harder to measure, but they may actually matter more, because sustainable growth isn't built on transaction, it's built on relationships, and relationships run on trust. Let's make this real. One of the most discussed example in the report involves Zepto. According to a report, customers encountered multiple fees that appeared later in the checkout journey. At the same time, Zepto Pass was reportedly pre-selected during checkout. Regulators characterized these practices under drip pricing and basket sneaking. Eventually, Zepto became the first platform to receive a monetary penalty under India's dark pattern framework. Now, whether you agree with the severity of punishment isn't really the point. The point is that conversion changed. For years, dark patterns were mostly industry discussion. Today, they are becoming regulatory discussions, and whenever regulators begin paying attention to something, companies begin paying attention too, because the cost of ignoring the issue just starts increasing. Now, here's where the report becomes really interesting. Most people assume that if every platform uses dark patterns, then every platform must be problematic equally. The report suggests that's not true. The authors created something called the B index, a framework designed to measure not just the frequency of dark patterns but also their impact on consumers. And what they found was fascinating. The frequency of dark patterns was surprisingly similar across many platforms, but the level of harm varied dramatically. In e commerce, Amazon emerged as the best performing platform. In quick commerce, Blinkit ranked the highest. In online travel, Make My Trip performed the best. Meanwhile, platforms like Nykaa, Big Basket, and ClearTip ranked significantly worse on the harm index. Now, what's important here isn't naming winners and losers, it's understanding the implication. If some platforms can achieve growth while creating substantially less consumer harm, then dark patterns aren't inevitable. They're a choice, a design choice, a product choice, and ultimately a business choice. Now let's talk about the statistic that caught my attention the most. The report estimates that dark patterns may be creating an annual economic impact of roughly rupees 80,000 to 83,000 crore. Think about that number for a second. That's not just consumer money, that's not just platform money, that's economic value. The report argues that roughly rupees 25 to 28,000 crore is extracted directly from consumers through various mechanisms. But the bigger number is actually the second one. Around rupees 55,000 crore of future GMV could be at risk because consumers lose trust, reduce spending, switch platforms, or disengage entirely. And I think that's a fascinating framework, because most businesses think dark patterns increase revenue. The report suggests they may simultaneously destroy future revenue. In other words, you might win today's transaction while weakening tomorrow's customer relationship. And if that's true, then this isn't just a consumer right issue, it's a growth strategy issue. One section of the report I found particularly interesting was the path forward, because contrary to the popular belief, the authors argue that India doesn't necessarily have a regulation problem, it has an enforcement problem. The rules already exist. The challenge is ensuring compliance. The report proposes a framework involving independent audits, public disclosure, benchmark scoring through the B index, stronger accountability mechanisms, and more meaningful penalties for repeat violations. Now, whether that exact framework gets adopted is impossible to predict, but the broader trend is clear. Trust is becoming measurable, and once something becomes measurable, it becomes competitive. Think about what happened with ESG, think about what happened with seller ratings, think about what happened with customer reviews. Consumers increasingly expect transparency. Could trust scores become a normal part of digital commerce in the future? Maybe. And honestly, I don't think that's as far fetched as it sounds. If you're listening to this as a founder, marketplace seller, category manager, or e commerce operator, this is the section I want you to remember. The conversation isn't really about dark patterns, it's about trust design. For the last decade, digital commerce optimized aggressively for efficiency, faster delivery, higher conversion, better recommendations, and more retention. But I think the next decade might be different. Consumers are becoming smarter, regulators are becoming more active, and trust is becoming increasingly valuable. One of the findings from the report suggests that a significant majority of consumers would be willing to pay more for platforms they perceive as ethically designed. Think about that. Not cheaper, not faster, more trustworthy. For years, we treated trust as a soft metric. Today, it's starting to look like a growth metric. And the brands that recognize that shift early could build an enormous competitive advantage. Because while technology can get copied, trust doesn't. I leave you with one final question. If a dark pattern increases conversion today but reduces trust tomorrow, did it actually create growth or did it simply borrow revenue from the future? Because the future winners in digital commerce won't be determined only by who delivers fastest or who spends the most on advertising or who launches the most AI features. They'll be determined by who can create sustainable trust with consumers. And that may turn out to be the hardest growth challenge of all. A special thanks to Data Intelligence and the report Dark Patterns in India's Online Marketplaces, how 12 platforms shape 304 million consumers' choice and what it costs them, for inspiring today's discussion. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow, share, and leave a review. And until next time, keep looking beyond the transaction and understanding what really drives digital commerce. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.